Hello everyone and welcome to another video by Centipede Geek. Today I'm going to discuss my thoughts and opinions upon an MTV television series with the name of Teen Wolf. I'm going to talk about Season 3, Episode 24, titled The Divine Move. Well, if you're a big fan of Teen Wolf, you know that this is definitely an episode to watch because this is the season finale. There are some huge things that happen in this episode, and let's talk about a few of those things. Let's talk about the plot first before we talk about my opinions on the episode. So you pretty much have, in this episode, major spoilers coming up. We find out a way to kill the Ori. We've been wondering how to kill them forever. We find out a way, this is the whole reason that Allison died. Allison, right before she died, she was trying to tell them something. Saying, hey, I found out a way to kill the Ori. And that way is to use silver. But that's pretty much what this episode is about, is trying to get rid of the Ori. The Ori are using illusions and that sort of thing. There's an illusion going on in the school that's not actually happening. And if you watch the episode, you know what I'm talking about then. Not only do we have, that going on, but we also have, the after effects of Allison dying. Everyone's having to deal with that. Not only does Allison die in this episode, but also one of our twin characters do also. So this is a huge episode. That's pretty much the plot of the MTV television series with Teen Wolf for Season 3, Episode 24, titled The Divine Move. Now, my thought on this episode, I loved this episode. This was a fantastic episode. It was well acted, well scripted, great dialogue. I just loved everything about the episode. Let's talk about a few of the scenes I liked in particular. If you're looking for just an action episode, just an episode with pure action, pure blood and violence, this is definitely one. I mean, yes, there have been, cool sort of action scenes throughout this, season, but this is probably definitely the one that has the most so far. There were so many great shootout sequences with some great music behind them. Overall, they just worked greatly. One in particular is when there's sort of like this kind of dark song playing when the Ori, or the Oni, when the Oni are cutting up people in the hospital, and then you have Scott McCall's dad. You have him going in the elevator, trying to get away from them. That was a great sequence, with that music playing, and the Oni cutting up the people in the hospital. I loved that scene. Another great scene is when the Oni are like blocking bullets. They're like slicing through bullets, and there's no way to stop them, but obviously Silver can do that. There are some great action scenes in this episode. Definitely one of the great things about it. There's some great twists in the episode. I loved the whole illusion concept. I was wondering how this can be possible. What's going on? Why is this happening in the school? Well, then it made sense that it was an illusion. Overall, I thought that was kind of an interesting and unique concept. There were some great twists in this episode, some huge twists. One was the fact that, the twin ended up dying. The twist in the fact that I never saw it coming. The even bigger twist happened at the last 10 seconds, and I feel a little mixed on that. Not mixed in a bad way, mixed in a way where I didn't expect this to happen. I never expected this. This was weird, it was odd, it was confusing, it was just, I never expected something like this to happen. So let's talk a little bit about that, because I want to spend a little bit of time on that. And major spoiler cut if you haven't seen the episode. The fact that Jill Wagner's character returned, I forget, I think the character's name was Kate or something like that. If not, correct me in the comment below. But I believe the actress's name is Jill Wagner. Anyways, our villain from the first season returns in the season finale. The MTV television series with the name Teen Wolf. This was crazy to me because we hadn't seen her in so long. I was a little confused because I was wondering, well, how is this possible? What's going on here? In my head, I'm thinking, there's no way she could be back, but here she is right in front of my eyes. Do I have any theories? Not really. I imagine we'll get more explanation later on. Now, they did talk about shortly before that where the werewolves, nails get deeply dug into them. When the nails are deeply dug into them enough, it can cause a person to come back to life, I guess. And I guess that's a little bit of the reason for why Jill Wagner's character is back. Other than that, I'm so lost, it's not funny. But so, how do I feel in that scene? I'm not for sure how to feel, honestly. It's a crazy scene because it comes off so unexpected. Is it a good scene? Yes, because it's a huge twist, and it really got my reactions working. For that reason, I do think it's a good scene. Plot-wise, it's an interesting plot turn. I never thought, normally we get a new thing in each season, and now that an old villain has been introduced, it looks like, now I imagine we'll get some sort of new mythology, because we always do with Teen Wolf, but now that they went back to basics, it seems like, we have a new villain now, and I'm sure they'll introduce some sort of new thing also. And that's pretty much my thoughts on the episode. I love the episode in general. Nothing wrong with it. A little mixed there at the end. It's not a bad thing. It was so unexpected that I didn't know what to think of it, right? But overall, I love this season in general. It's a great season. Some great acting. Just great stuff in general. Some news on the newest season. Season 4 coming out in June, just so you guys know. We have 3 characters that will not be coming back anytime soon, at least. Daniel Shorman, who plays the character of Isaac, his character, don't worry, he's not dying or being written off or anything like that. He has opted out not to return for the first half of Season 4, but he has asked not to be killed off. That way, he can come back at a later time. So there's some new news on that. So he won't be in the first half of Season 4, but you might see him in the second half, since he asked not to be killed off, but you never know if the writer's right. And then there's 2 other characters. Obviously the twin won't be coming back because he's dead, and the other twin won't be coming back also. And you could kind of get that, because him wanting to leave the town, Beacon Hills. You kind of got that at the end of the season. Anyways, I wanted to let you guys know that news. That's my thoughts and opinions on the MTV television series by the name of Teen Wolf, Season 3, Episode 24, titled The Divine Move. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe to my page below. I'll see you guys later. More videos by Centipede Geek.